Hello team, welcome to Fittest. This morning we will be doing 30 minutes of Pilates exercises that strengthen the hip joints and the shoulder joints. Because it's Pilates, we'll also do our 100 for the abs, and we're always working the core in Pilates, lifting that belly button in, lower abs in, lifting up out of the hips, lengthening the spine, and pulling the pelvic floor muscles in and up, away from the mat. I am Megan. I hope you feel good during and after the session. So we're getting warmed up. We're sitting up nice and tall, engaging the core muscles, those transverse abdominals and the pelvic floor muscles by about 10%. So we're not really sucking them in. Not all the way, it's just a gentle lift, building up the endurance capabilities of those muscles and those areas, so that as we go about our day, we're always lifted and in. And it becomes second nature, it becomes a habit. You don't even think about it. There we go. So here we will now bend the knees, bring the knees and toes up, elbows are bent, and we're warming up through the hips a little. Keep the knees glued together. Keep the feet glued together. And start to slow down and work into the full range of motion at your hips. Where will the knees go? And does it feel good in your hips and lower back? That's where we're getting warmed up. Last two. And one. And then we're sitting up into the tailor position. The right ankle crosses in front of the left ankle. Let's find our core muscles. Let's find our shoulders up, back, and down. Pulling in the abs. Doing all your lifts. Here we are here, and we're going to push the walls away 4 times. Waking up the fingertips. Then, with lovely posture, the palms are up, down, down. If you're a little bit bent here, lengthen through the elbows, through the arms as you work. Up, down, up, down. Last 2 and 1. From here, we're coming up into the letter V. The elbows come in by the rib cage. We're like a little W. So we're going V, W. Keep the shoulders down. Actively lengthening up through the neck. Ears are up over the shoulders. As you work on your V and W, it can be tempting to come like this and let the shoulders up, but we want to keep the shoulders down. Could add a little lift of the heart and the nose and the chin. Last 2 and 1, and now we've got an upside down V here. Fingertips are on the mat, and your upside down V is becoming a circle in front of you. So you're going upside down V to the letter O. Again, keep checking, shoulders are down. They might be tempted to come up. You could start taking the face a little bit to each side, looking down that arm as you work away. Last 2 and 1. Opening up, we will swap ankles, other ankle in front. And we're coming up and over, warming up the spine in every direction. That's our lateral. Last 2 and 1. Now we're bringing up the knees together so we can come into our tabletop position. Knees are directly under the hips, hands are directly under the shoulders. You're finding your cat and your cow. Only if you have any injuries, stay here with your normal cat stretch and into the opposite, your cow. Otherwise, you're coming up, you're taking your rib cage as if it's a little wooden barrel. I kind of think of it as a barrel of whiskey there, a little one. And you're doing your cat-cow, but with circles. The rib ribs are circling. Coming up into a really nice cat, rock a little bit forward and back, and then circle the other way with your barrel there. The barrel is rotating around. There's 3. Let the elbows bend, let the spine move. There's 1, holding it here, up like a cat. Now you're coming into your cow, keeping the face neutral, and now the hips are circling. Add the ribs, elbows will move as well. Hip circles, we want it to feel good in the hips and spine. Come on up to your cat, and then cow, and then circle the hips the other way. Let the joints move and get nice and warm. From here, the big toes touch, the knees come really wide, and we're sending the hips back to the heels. Come on down onto your elbows, wiggle a little bit, pushing the hips back on the heels there. There's your wide child's pose. If this feels fabulous, in the hips and the lower back and the glutes. And if you know that you can keep those hips glued to your heels, you've got the glue there, you're bringing your forehead down as you lengthen out the arms. If your hips are popping up, aim to really push them back and down. Use to strengthen your arms and shoulders if you need to. Glorious lower back into hip stretch. Holding it there for a moment. Wiggle side to side if that feels lovely. Then we're breathing in, breathing out, walking on up. Knees together, knees under the hips. Tabletop, here we go. We're lengthening, opposite fingertips, opposite toes out, then come back in. You're breathing out as you lengthen, in as you come back. This is a classical Pilates movement called Superman. Sometimes it's called Pointer. This is level 1 for injuries. Just check that you're not rocking around. Hips and shoulders are facing the mat. If that's enough, stay there. Otherwise, lengthen up the arm and the opposite leg as you go, changing sides. If you feel like you're wobbling, go back to either the first position to stay stable or really pull the abs in. Really focus on the core here as you reach and come in. You've got it. Warming up the entire back of the body, hips and shoulders as we go. Last 2. Last 1. Here comes something fun. We're taking the back leg out. Lift it up and squeeze that glute. You've got a long, straight back leg. If it's a little bit bent, squeeze the kneecap, squeeze the quad, lift and point the toes. Long leg. Check. Elbows are going to be coming near the rib cage. Shoulders away from the ears. We've got 5 push-ups. Here we come. Nice tight ones. Breathing out as we lift, in as we go down. Keep those elbow joints near the body. There's 4. Here comes number 5. Come on up. Squeeze and lift that leg a little bit more. You can do it. Then we're coming on in. We're swapping. Other leg out. Check seatbelts and lift. Lift a little bit higher. Squeeze the kneecap. Lengthen the foot. Straighten that leg. Here we go. Really tight push-ups at the front here. We're coming down and up. 4, 3, 2, and 1, and hold. Squeeze and lift. Knees come in tight together. Heels find the hips, hips find the heels. We're back. And then come on down onto your forearms. Now we're in a tight child's pose. Elbows in by the knees, up on your forearms, fingertips stretching. Glue the hips to the heels. Could stay here or could reach forward. Letting the chest come down to the thighs, forehead to the mat. Holding it here for a moment. From here, we'll meet on our backs. So we're diving forward onto one side. Knees are glued together, up and over. Ooh, onto our backs. Let's find our lovely spinal position there. We're rocking the hips, little tiny tilts here. Tightening the seatbelts in the core. In the pelvic area, we're tightening and lifting as we go. Little tiny rocks. We're going to bring the feet and knees together. They're glued in, actively pressing together. Hands are here. We're breathing in, breathing out to raise the hips up into your bridge. And then we lower on down. Here we go. These tight, narrow bridges. Keep pressing the thighs together. Keep squeezing the glutes when you're up. We breathe out to lift, in to lower. We curl the spine up, followed by the hips. We curl the spine down, followed by the hips. Hips and spine, spine and hips. You've got it. I love these narrow bridges. I love rowing the elbows down at my sides like that. So I'm pretty happy I could keep on going because I find this fun and it feels good. But we've got other fun things to do too. So we will do our last 3, 2. Hold number 1 up. Hold, hold, hold. Hold the hips if you need support. Otherwise, lower the arms down at your sides. We're going to start walking along with long, straight legs. So we're lengthening out. Squeeze the kneecap. Squeeze the quad. Strengthen the opposite glute. Bring your foot back down next to the other one. Walk on out. Keep your squeezes. Keep on going. You're breathing out as you lengthen the leg at a diagonal. In as you come back. Trying to keep our chin away from the body there. We don't want to be too compacted in the neck. Keep it natural and relaxed there, while the lower body is doing the squeezing and walking. If you need to roll on down and come back up, go for it. Otherwise, keep on walking that little pointed foot each time. Extra squeeze at the glutes. Having fun. We'll go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then I always love a double pulse of the glutes. Here we go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Extra squeeze. Press the thighs together. Breathing in. Breathing out. We're lowering the spine all the way down. The hips come down. We've got one thigh in for a moment and swap. Other thigh in for a moment. Now we're doing Pilates stance bridges. The legs are together. The heels stay touching while the feet open up like the little letter V and the knees open up. Then we are going to breathe in, breathe out, curl the hips up, followed by the spine. Squeeze the glutes. Maybe you're going a little bit higher in this position, getting a stretch through the hips. See how that feels. We're holding it there. Now we'll lower down and come back up, your own pace. Lowering down the spine, followed by the hips. Breathing out to lift the hips, followed by the spine. You can add the arms. When the bridge is down, the arms are down overhead. When the bridge is up, the arms are next to the bridge. If this feels weird, check that you are keeping the arms down next to you while the bridge is up. Overhead when the bridge is down. Doing it the other way will feel really weird, and you want to squeeze and be nice and stable there, flowing along your Pilates stance bridges. Here we go. There's 2. Number 1, we're going to hold up. Now we're going to walk along with the legs slightly turned out like this. Really squeeze the glutes, squeeze quads and kneecaps. Now you're walking along, the leg is reaching at a diagonal. Come on down. Breathing out to lift, in as you lower, really toning the legs with this lovely slightly turned out shape. Walking along at your own speed. Whenever you need to lower down, go right ahead and then come on up. If you have any severe injuries or injuries at all in your spine, you could be doing this from the floor just like this. Fabulous work as well. You choose. Otherwise, here we are. We'll go for last 2, last 1. Here come the 10 pulses. Here we go. Little glute squeezes. 10, 9, 8, 2, 1, and hold for extra fun. Walk a heel up, walk the other heel up, down, down. Keep on going. Heel up, down, down, up, down, down. Last set. Down, down. Extra squeeze. Come on down. Great work. From here, we're bringing both thighs towards the chest. Come on in, have a little bit of a rock side to side. Massaging the hips. That's the prize there. Ooh, we're in a great position for the 100 here. So let's keep the thighs and knees on so your toes are up a little bit. You can see them. Your shins are making a little slide. Here we go. We're breathing in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. Flatten the lower abs. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. Press those knees and feet and thighs together. If you're drooping down, come on up. If the shoulders are sinking, come on up. You got it. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. In and out. Pilates stance, you could lengthen the legs. Squeeze the kneecaps. Heels are touching, feet are pointing and reaching. Gorgeous stuff. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in and out. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. Nearly there. Out, 2, 3, 4. Last set. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, tighten and hold. And then we'll come on down. One knee coming in for a hug. The other leg is coming down to the floor. Circling the ankles and feet. Circling the knee. Other way. And taking the face a little bit east. A little bit west. And we will swap here. Up and over. Find your stretch. Check shoulders are away from the ears. Ankles and feet twice in each direction. Knee circle twice, little ones in each direction. Taking the face a little bit south, a little bit north. And then again a little east, a little west. Now we're taking our feet down and we'll meet on our fronts. Here we are. We're taking our selves into our diamond press position. Elbows are out, hands stacked. Forehead will be on the hands. I'm peeking over at you. So we're starting with the upper half of the body. Any injuries, you're raising just your forehead up. So we're breathing in, breathing out as we raise the forehead. The shoulders and chest will come up a little bit. In as we lower. Your elbows and your hands are staying on your mat. You're squeezing your legs together, and your legs and the front of your feet are also glued to the mat. There is no glory in popping up there. You've got enough strength to control the fact that you can work your upper body without letting your legs pop up. If you'd like to keep that stability through the lower body, and you're breathing out to lift the elbows up in as you lower. Breathing out, breathing in. Squeeze the glutes, keep the tops of the feet glued to the mat. That's 4. 3, you got it. 2, and 1. Now we're coming on down. Now we're breathing out to raise the legs into lower. Can you do this with the upper half of the body on the mat? Really squeeze and lift. Lengthen the legs, lengthen the feet. Then we'll really go for it. Everything together. Here we go. Breathing out to float the legs and arms up. In as we lower. Floating the chest up. In as we lower. Breathing out. Breathing in. Squeeze and lift. That's 4. 3. 2. Hold number 1 up. Holding, reaching the arms out down to our sides. Fingertips on the sides of the legs. Squeeze and lift the shoulders up, squeezing the upper back. Neck is nice and neutral, nose is towards the mat. Holding it here, squeeze everything. Super tight and strong. Wonderful. Hold, hold, hold. If it's too easy, pull the belly button away from the mat. If you'd like a little bit more, take the arms overhead, reaching. Super strong legs are going to tap together for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Swing the arms back at your sides. And then we're lowering on down. Hands back together. Now we're bringing a heel towards our glute, reaching behind for the ankle or the foot. Squeeze that glute, press the hip into the mat. The thigh might pop up a little bit. And we're stretching the quads there, keeping the neck neutral. We'll swap sides, doing the quad stretch on the other side. Here we go. And keep those going as a moving quad stretch, or try the angel stretch. I'll give myself a little space. You're coming up, and then you're taking your toe behind you. The knee is towards the ceiling. Come on back down. Breathing in, breathing out to touch the toe behind you, knee towards the ceiling. Come on down. If you'd like to, take the arms wider so that we're stretching through the shoulders as well. Toe is up, knee to ceiling, touching the floor. Take these at your own pace. You could go much more slowly if you like. Keeping the head on the mat. Let these feel good. One more each side at your own pace. And then we'll come on down, squeezing the legs together. Feet are glued to the mat, reaching the arms long. We're up on our forearms here. Lengthening through the spine. Come on out, lift the crown of the head. Keeping a nice neutral neck. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Here's our swan stretch here. If you'd like a little more, breathing in, breathing out, hands into your palms. Weight of yourself into your palms there. Come on up. Come on down. If you're warm enough, take the hands under the shoulders and come on all the way up into your cobra, shoulders down. But if it's compacting the lower back, do the swan instead. Check that you can move your face a little bit. And then we'll come on down. Over to one side, we'll meet on our backs. So we've got the number 4 stretch here. Ankle across the top of your other thigh. One hand gently pressing out the thigh there for the hip and lower back. Relax into it, wiggle the foot around if that feels nice in your joints. Then we're taking both hands to the other thigh, we're guiding it up, hugging here. If your head is popping up, have a cushion under your head so that you can really relax here. You can rock the legs a little bit side to side, enjoying that massage. If you'd like to, you could lengthen this other foot up to the ceiling, push through the heel there, bringing the toes back towards you. And then those toes are pointing away and back, away and back. 2 more times there. We'll go back the way we came, bending the knee. The foot is going down, palms at our sides. A little bit of a side rock here for the hips and lower back. Will the toes go near the floor on that side and up? Will the knee go near the floor on that side and up? Just take it, could be much smaller if you prefer. Take it where you're comfortable in your hips and lower back. We want these to feel good, not forcing anything. Maybe you can find your own little groove there. Side to side. Tightening the seatbelts every time we come up though. It's still Pilates. Still tightening through the core. We will come on up and we'll swap other ankle across. Find that thigh opener. The same hand is gently pressing the thigh. If you catch yourself pressing on a joint when you're stretching, find a place with flesh. We want to stretch. Press the flesh there for the stretch. That's a much safer place to be leaning or pressing or when you're stretching. Especially if you do Pilates most days, or any kind of stretching most days. If I pushed on my joint every day for 20 years, I would eventually be affecting my joints. Whereas if I push here with this muscle and fat, fantastic. I can keep on doing it for 20 more years. We've got it. From here, we'll go into that lovely glute stretch. We're finding the other thigh, hugging on in, and a little bit of a side rock. Settle into it. And then if you'd like a little more, lengthen this leg up to the ceiling. Pushing the heel away, the toes towards you, and then the toes away. 3 more like that. Holding it here, find your stretch. We'll go back the way we came, bending the knee, the foot finds the mat. Hands on the hips or down at your sides, working the toe a little bit to one side, abs in on the way up, knee a little bit to one side, tighten the seat belts. Then start experimenting with your range of movement there. Last one on each side. There's one. There's 2. We're bringing that foot down. Relaxing here. Find your hip position again. A few tilts here, pelvic rocks. Pulling in the belly button each time, lifting the pelvic floor each time. Then we've got our arms reaching up, palms are facing each other, and we're marching along here a little bit. Just check that you're not arching your back. Seatbelts are all still on as we work along here. Then on the next one, the arms are going to breathe in, breathe out, and we're reaching both arms overhead. Holding it here for a moment. Rotate so that the palms of your hands are up towards the ceiling. Bringing the thumbs together, bring your pointer fingers together and have a stretch here. If your arms don't touch the floor yet, that's fine. Use gravity here to help you lengthen the arms a little bit, reach, and you can stretch here. From here, our elbows are going to drag down on the floor or near the floor and come to the rib cage. Then the fingertips are finding the hips here, and we're coming on up. Start these where we're dragging the elbows down. Pinky fingers find the hips there. Come on up and around. 2 more like that. Dragging down. Reaching, and up and over. Last one. Elbows drag down. Reach. Up and over. Then we're circling all the way up. You're raising a shoulder and lowering. Raise the other shoulder blade and lower. You could do these as this lift where you're equally reaching slowly up, slowly down, controlling the movement. Or to get rid of tension, you could do it as a lift and drop. Lift and drop. If that feels fantastic, go for it. Neck injuries or spinal injuries, especially up there at the top, don't do it if that hurts. Otherwise, last 2 and 1. We will roll over onto one side and push ourselves all the way up and up. Knees are coming up, feet and heels leading the way forward. Back to where we started, toes coming towards us and then away. Checking seatbelts, checking hair, checking shoulders, checking wrists are touching, working through the wrists and feet here. Checking coordination, sitting up that little bit more. Last 2 and 1. Opening out, pointing the toes. How about Pilates stance here, seated. Heels are touching, toes are reaching. Your legs are on. Come on up, wiggle so that you're sitting on your sit bones. Abs are in, nice long spine here. This next one becomes our shoulder check. Stretch here. Arm across the body, shoulder down. face looking over the shoulder. If that shoulder is inching up, bring it down, away from your ear, away from your chin. Reaching the elbow up and out. Other side, here we go. Out, across, guiding it in. Check that it didn't get tempted to come up. Come on down. Taking the face over that shoulder. Check if you're starting to get tempted to come on back. Abs in, long spine, lifting up out of the hips. Gorgeous posture, that's what we want. Elbow reaching up. And here we are, both arms are reaching up, finding our elbow points here, lifting the heart, lifting the face. Keep on reaching, swap elbows there, and we lift. Up, get the rib cage away from the hip bones. Lovely long spine, have a little rock forward and back. How about a little bit side to side? How about a big stretch side to side, a little bigger there. And we're sitting up, back into our tailor position, one ankle in front of the other. Legs out in front if tailor is too much on your hips. Have a little rock here. And then similar to what we did at the beginning, you've got your rib cage. I picture it as a little wooden barrel full of something nice. And then we're circling the wooden barrel around over top of the hips. Good for the spine, good for the shoulders and hips. Have a wiggle. Feel good throughout your body. We're all the way up, right ear to right shoulder. Find your cradle stretch. And release, left ear to left shoulder. Could be here if you have any neck injuries. Otherwise, it's quite gentle. The weight of your hand here. Feeling that stretch through the neck, down to the shoulder. And up, let's swap ankles so we're evenly stretching our hips while we work on the upper body, shoulders up, back and down. Final spinal twist. You've got right fingertips behind, left arm across the thigh. We're breathing in, breathing out, looking behind here. Unwind, we're looking back towards each other. Other arm up and back, across. Here you go, breathing in, breathing out to look behind. Unwinding the neck, the shoulders, the spine. Come on up, check your posture. Check all those internal seat belts. I know you've got them going on there. A little bit of a wrist work here. Palms up and down, let the elbows bend. And then we're reaching, palms up, palms down. Really longer through your spine, up out of the hips, strong shoulders, strong hips, feeling fabulous. Great work, and I look forward to exercising with you again soon.